Hey everyone, I'm back with another tips and tricks video in Bambu Studio. This one is going to be about assembling flat multicolor pieces, and I'm gonna start off with my bunny magnet pieces here in Tinkercad. And you can see that all the parts are separated. So like these are the little eye shine parts. I don't want anything touching that I don't want to merge. So you can see like in Tinkercad, you can group items together and then they become one thing. But once you export items from Tinkercad into Bambu Studio, if anything is touching, it's going to automatically merge and you won't be able to separate it in Bambu Studio. So for our purposes, doing this type of model, we need anything we don't want touching or anything we don't want to be merged later on not touching. So I could individually export all of this stuff, but I like how I have the different faces centered how I need. Like these are going to be the teeth later. They'll go down there. But for now, I'm just going to export the whole thing. And then I'm going to open it up in Bambu Studio. Okay, so I've got all my pieces here. It's all one thing. So if you have a model that you got from another creator and you can't color it easily, you can always try to split it into parts. And depending on how they made the model, it might work, it might not. If it does, you'll go over to the objects and every single piece will be its own thing. And then you can just easily change colors in there. But for this, we're going to split to objects. And then I'll be able to individually color what I want. So we're going to have a brown bunny. And then I'm going to be re-merging specific pieces. So you select all the stuff you want, control click on everything. So now this is its own assembly. I'm going to change that to pink. I'm going to make my nose pink. We're going to keep the whiskers black, but we do need to merge them because that's going to come in handy later when we're centering and assembling everything. So I'm going to merge and color everything that I need to, and then I'll speed that up so you don't have to sit here bored, and then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, so I think I have everything merged and colored how I want. I'm gonna bring up a new plate. I'm gonna copy this part here. And I'm actually gonna merge all of these pieces as well together. And then copy that onto here. I'm going to make sure that they're both centered. And then I can move these around as one whole thing because I like how they're set up together. So I can move things a little bit at a time, see how they sit. That looks about right. So if I hit preview or slice, you're going to get this warning that there's conflicts because it's trying to print two different models on the same layers. So we're going to need to merge them. And now they're all combined. And I keep my detail parts at about 0.8 or 1 millimeter. These I have at 0.1. So then you'll see it's going to start printing just the brown. I've already got my magnet hole built into the back part. And now I just want to show you that if I were to move, let's see, where's the nose? I'm going to name this so we know where it is. If I move the nose above the brown magnet base, it disappears. So the order that you have your pieces in is really important, and I'll show you some more of that once I start assembling some faces. Just gonna name all these parts. Okay, so I'm going to make another copy of this, and I'm gonna keep these here even though I shouldn't need them, but this is now going to be my new base. Make sure it's centered again, and I'm going to bring over this first face here. So I'm going to merge the eyes and the eyebrows together. I'm just going to select them all, move them over, and center them. And it is much easier to work with the plate flipped. So now remember, these parts are going to go on top of the eyes. And let's see. I think that looks pretty good. I think I'm happy where the mouth is. I think I want the eyebrows just a little lower. So you can still move things once they're assembled. So you see I have the eyes and the eyebrows together. So if I just select both the eyebrows, I can move them down. I think that's good. 0.5 millimeter. And then same thing if we hit preview or slice. I haven't merged them yet, so they're going to be trying to print multiple things on the same layers. So we need to select all the parts that are on the plate. Is that everything? Oh, there we go. That's the mouth, I think. And then merge all that. Now it is one piece. And we're missing those shiny parts on the eyes. So, they're the white ones. They need to go all the way on the bottom. It doesn't matter what order I put the 4 of them in, because they are not overlapped. So now everything is where it should be. I'm liking the positioning of all of that, so that one is finished. And I'm going to move that one aside. Going to copy our base again, and let's see, I'm going to do one of the little bit more complex ones. I'm going to merge those again. I think over here I'm going to assemble the mouth. Let's see. It's down. And with these pieces, I tend to get pretty precise. Let's see how closely I can line them up. All right, that is pretty good. I like getting the corners really close this little extra black bit shouldn't matter. It's not gonna print that. So now I'm gonna merge those together. I can select that. Okay, so now I'm going to move everything over. Mouth is gonna be way low down, but I'm gonna center. And let's see, get the eyes where I want them. Move the mouth up. That's the wrong way. That's too far. Still too far. That looks pretty good. I think I want the eyes a little lower. Too low, I think. All right, let's see how that looks. I'm gonna merge everything. And let's see what order they came up in. So the teeth need to go under the mouth, and I will be naming everything later, so it's easier for myself if I need to make adjustments, and for people downloading my models, if they want to just swap certain colors, they know exactly what part they're using. So I'm pretty happy with that. This is the first time I've done these little like blush marks so close to something else, I think, in my emoji magnets. And I don't think it interrupts anything. So that is one of the more complex items with a lot of parts on it. So I think you get the basic idea. I'm going to assemble all the rest of these and speed it up again, and then we'll see what the whole plate looks like with all of them done. Okay, so I'm on my last one, and I'm actually going to show you this assembly too, because there are more pieces on this one. Move this one up, this down a little. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So move the tongue up. That's just about right. I'm gonna merge all this stuff. Center it over here. Let's see. Oops. Okay, try and get everything just where I want it. Okay, I think that looks good. I'm gonna merge all of this stuff. That should be all one. Yep. And then I've got my little line over here. Whoops. Tiny little piece. Get that over here. And then center that one. That's gonna go on the tongue. And then I will merge all of that together, if it'll let me. Okay, and then I'm going to name everything to make it easier and make sure that everything is in the right order. So you can see right here, the teeth are going to need to be under the mouth so they show up. And then anything else does not matter the order. Like the eyes and the eyebrows, because they're not overlapping, but everything right here is gonna matter. So we're gonna see what it looks like. So I have to move the tongue, and this should actually be showing up. We'll see how it looks once I move everything properly. Okay, so we need the mouth underneath, and the teeth. I think I actually want the tongue in between, just because there is a little overlap, but as long as it's over the black mouth part, it should be good. So that all looks right, except my little tongue line isn't showing up. I might need to make that a little bigger, so I'm going to go to scale. Click off uniform scale, because I just want it wider. So that is this way. So if I make that 0.4, which is the nozzle size I'm going to be using, I believe that should make it show up. Yep, there we go. So that's another thing to remember, is that if you're using really tiny parts in your models and assembling them, if it's smaller than what your nozzle size is, it's not even going to show up. I see a lot of people asking about, like, why is my text coming out weird? Like, lines aren't connecting and stuff. It's because if you've got really thin, like, elegant looking text, it has to be at least 0.4 if you're using 0.4 nozzle. That's why a lot of people use 0.2 for items that are more complex or detailed. You can actually see if I were to switch to a 0.2 nozzle, look how much finer and detailed this is. It's actually how, I wanted it to look in the first place. Once it's printed, it doesn't look too bad. You get all that squish and the lines fill in better. But a 0.2 nozzle definitely would get you finer details on those smaller things. So I think I actually want to move the line on the tongue up a little bit. Ooh, that's the whole tongue. That's the wrong way, which I thought. Let's see how that looks. I think I actually want to make the whole line bigger. So I still have it checked off of uniform scale. So let's make it 3. Let's see how that looks. And I'm going to move it up a little bit more. I think that's better. Might even adjust it a little more, but that was the last magnet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring them all over, and I'm going to arrange them. I know that some stuff isn't going to be in the right order, so you're going to see some parts disappear here in a second. Like this one right here. Let's see, we got the pupils. They're going to need to go over the white eyes, which are right here. And again, I'll name everything and move stuff around to get it just how I want later. All right, so that one is done. This one, these two, the teeth aren't where they should be. So that's gonna be what you want to print above. So it goes on the bottom of the list. Okay, now they are good. Here's another one. This one, we don't have the mouth. Let's see. Where is that? There we go. And again, as long as it's under there, it'll show up. And I think its brows are missing too. So I've, just as an example, they are essentially assembled. So I'm going to rename all the parts, make sure everything is where it should be, maybe move some stuff around a little bit to perfect it. But that is basically how to assemble, small, flat, multicolor items like this. You can definitely do things a little differently how you would like. Obviously all of the plain black eyes are the same. I didn't have to have each individual face put together. I could have just copied the same eyes. But when I'm doing my stuff in Tinkercad, I like to, assemble each individual face and move the back onto it to see if it's how I want, get the positioning and everything how I like. If you have any questions about this specific video, or you want to let me know what other kind of tutorials, tips, and tricks you'd like to see, please comment. Please like this video and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this in the future. So I'll have these models out in a couple weeks if you want to download them and print your own magnets. But for now, I will see you guys later.